Oh, sorry, muted there. How's everybody doing today? Hope everyone's doing well. Welcome to the Lineman Life Tiermaker podcast. Really do appreciate everyone being here this evening. Hoping everybody's day is going well. Obviously, it is the divisional round of the playoffs in the NFL playoffs, and woo, we've got some games that are going to be some pretty interesting matchups, I think. But also on top of that, I want to do something a little bit different this stream, just to kind of add another element to the stream itself. We're going to be taking a look at some game film from some of the games from games in the wild card weekend that we just played in. Going to take a look at some of the game film from different teams, break down a couple of plays, couple of moments in games, and just kind of talk football in that regard. Once we get through the Tiermaker itself, since this is a divisional round, it's only going to be 4 games in total that are going to be getting played. So we'll get through this schedule fairly quickly, and then from there, we can get into some game film. Well, we'll get into game film as we go through the matchups. So just keep that in the back pocket there. But right now, let's take a look at our current Tiermaker so that you guys can see where we're at right now. I would say don't pay attention to these lingering ones at the bottom. I don't know why they're down there, but it's all the garbage squad down here. Basement dwellers. And we're going to take a look here at the schedule for this week's divisional round. Should be interesting. We got LA at Green Bay. LA, the Rams, their defense has been playing pretty stout. Last week against the Seahawks, we'll look at a couple of plays from that game. But last week against the Seahawks, they looked pretty stout. The offensive side of the ball, they looked good as well. I mean, they really put, it was weird. It was very surreal to watch them just kind of manhandle the Seattle Seahawks. It was really awkward to kind of see Russell Wilson completely ineffective throughout most of the game. But that was not a fluke. That was due to the work that these Los Angeles Rams put in against their nemesis. Now, with all of that being said, they had some injuries. Obviously, Aaron Donald being the biggest one. He says he's going to be good to go from the rib injury that he suffered during the game. It was just one of those situations where he probably tweaked or partially tore a little cartilage just from landing weird as he was tackling Russell Wilson on a play. But these Rams are looking better and better. We saw Jared Goff come out and play some decent ball. We saw him come out and post surgery on his thumb and actually play some good ball. He made some throws. He managed the game well. I don't think any of us were expecting that. I mean, obviously the quarterback that they had in, the backup who was in prior to him, had a injury that knocked him out. Seattle has a tendency to knock quarterbacks out with head injuries in the playoffs. I think that's definitely something to take note of. But it's going to be a pretty good game. I think this is going to be a matchup that's just going to be, it's going to be one of those highly competitive playoff matchups. I think Green Bay obviously is going to be the favorite in this, going to Lambeau Field this time of year. Not exactly, it's not going to exactly be a walk in the park. Going to be dealing with the frozen tundra. Going to be dealing with, a team that is completely within its element. A team that has, a particular style of offense where they're going to attack you with many different formations, many different looks. Aaron Rodgers obviously playing at an MVP level this season. That's going to be a hard game. It's going to be a hard game to really, pick a winner for me. But when we go to the Tiermaker here, obviously Green Bay has been up here as a guy to go through as first team. I had the Rams as a cameo. But obviously with these bums losing the game, the Rams are going to move up. The Rams are going to move up here, and they are in the should have a shot category. These are the only two categories left, really. Should have a shot, gotta go through us first. So it's the guys who are trying to make it and the guys who are standing in their way. That's pretty much how this one's playing out. But let's take a look at some of these. Let me go back here. Let's take a look at some of the wild card matchups, or the wild card matchup between the Rams and the Seahawks in particular. And I really want to, let's see. I'm going to start it off in the second half here so we can take a quick look. Where am I? Bear with me here. We're doing this in real time. I didn't really. Okay, there we go. So this is third quarter. All right. So, we're going to take a look here at just some of some plays on the fly, and I'm going to try and let it run. But, the Seahawks really had nothing to really work with when they're playing against these Rams. The Rams had pressure on Russell Wilson all day long. Take a look at their offensive line here. You got a right guard, and this is something that a lot of offensive linemen are taught. When you're going up against a player like Aaron Donald, and let me slow this down. Damn it. Let me slow this down. When you're playing against a player like this, and I'm looking at this, you're running a play action bootleg. Now, these two linemen here should be sitting on Aaron Donald with their eyes to the outside linebacker. That's just the priority of the blocking scheme. Like, you're going to have help from a runner. You should have help from a running back on the inside if there's any inside move. If you're the guard, if you're the tackle here, you don't really want to go. You don't want to expand further out here where you see he's opened his hips. He's facing the sidelines. Now you have a crease, and he just creases right through it. That's bad O-line play, and no, take nothing away from Aaron Donald himself, but, good offensive line coaches teach their offensive linemen in a situation like this. A few things you got to know. One, if I'm running a play action, which a good offensive coordinator, knowing where Aaron Donald is and knowing the kind of threat that he can pose, a good offensive coordinator is not going to run a play action to that defender. And I mean, it happens, but this is not ideal to run a play action with no tight end for a chip, no tight end or no extra presence to shore up that front side of the line. You run a play action into that, and this essentially turns into a one-on-one matchup between Aaron Donald and the right guard here. Now, me being a right guard, and I played all the interior positions throughout my career, but I had started an entire season at left guard, started one game at center in the preseason, but I played center, and I started the rest of my career as a right guard from my third year on. So, I've been in these situations, and the one thing that as a right guard I would be communicating to this tackle is, hey, sit down. Don't take off and go out here chasing 54 if he's not, showing an immediate intent to a pass rush. And when you look at this here and how they played it, he's too wide for me to really feel like as a tackle, like he's going to be an immediate threat. If I'm a tackle, I'm sitting vertically right here with my guard. We are going to sit on him as if we're double teaming him. This guy never makes contact with 54 throughout this entire course of this play. But Aaron Donald is the one who's busted this play. This play is busted because of Aaron Donald, and that really to me comes down to the fact that this right tackle isn't using the awareness of who is in front of him, who's really lined up over the tackle. You sit on this guy, he cannot be the one to win. And they let the one guy you can't let win. That now has busted the play. The running back would have been of help to the interior of that if Aaron Donald decided to go to the inside, or if one of these guys came free inside the A gap. That's what the play action's there for. But this is advanced level pass blocking. But for anyone who is a professional, this should be pass blocking like 102. This is not like, that's a terrible pass set. Like, look at this move that you make. Okay, again, and I get into these little tangents because I'm an offensive lineman. This is what the coach I had, the people who taught me how to play O-line, these were guys who had 13, 14, 15 year careers. These were guys who played against all-time greats at defensive end. These are guys who understand the game and understand the nuance of blocking and scheming blocks on a whole new level, because he is doing that exact same thing right now in Kansas City with the Chiefs. My O-line coach. This is, as a guard, when I'm looking at how wide this guy is lined up, I don't even care who he is. It doesn't matter that he's Aaron Donald. That to me would mean nothing. Look at how wide he is. If I'm a guard and I know that I'm play actioning to this guy over here who is lined up on my tackle, I'm abandoning a run fake per se. I'm not going to run at him as if I'm going to run block him. I'm going to take an aggressive first step, and I'm going to shoot my hands to make him widen or to stifle him where he is. And then I'm going to sit on it. Now, this tackle, again, should be sitting with him. So you should have a 90. It should basically be like a corner, just a wall here. And if you want to get by it, you have to go around the corner. And, his first steps are, his first thing is to run at him as if he's going to run block. He doesn't even have his hands on him. And his first contact is with Aaron Donald's back. So you have not done anything to help yourself as a lineman to block this all-pro defensive tackle. And he easily whisks right by him. That is, these are the nuances in games that really, that when people wonder why weren't the Seahawks able to get anything put together? Well, those are the kinds of things that you don't really know that are that are really crucial into understanding how they were able to play them the way they did. Now here, we'll let this be the last one for, just looking at the Rams defense and looking at the Seahawks offense. Here we got, what are they running here? They're just running a read option, which is basically inside zone for offensive line. And Ayupati's over here at the left guard on Aaron Donald, and I'm gonna try and follow him to try and critique what the offensive line is doing as it pertains to handling that top guy. But you look here again. This is another play this is a run. I mean, that's just they didn't really do anything there. But it was just a run inside zone. Let's take another look at one more pass. Let's see. I think that there you go. Russ is cooking. What's he cooking? What's he cooking? Incomplete. Take a fucking massive hit. Good job. Good job. Let's take a look here. The Rams defense has played a really strong. That's really what it boils down to. These guys did their homework, and they played really, really strong. Now you got, I would call this just, you got 2-3 techniques, basically. What Dwayne Brown is doing here at left tackle is kind of what I'm talking about when you have this threat here. You want to sit down. He doesn't have to go. This guy is useless. 45 is not doing anything. 45 is a distraction. And even right here, I think Dwayne Brown has gone too far. I don't even think you have to move. I don't think you have to even kick that far, take that many kicks. He takes 2 kicks, then he jams his feet into the ground, which isn't good. Both feet at the same time. That, you don't want to have that happen. But if you're looking at the footwork of linemen, it should all his first kick set is correct. But after that, he kind of loses his balance. He's all over himself. Now he does sit down, and they're sitting down at the right spot. You got a good pocket here. You got good pass protection over here with the right tackle. I always look at this, and the first thing I say to myself is, how are your hands being placed? Well, his hands are shit. His hands are shit. You got to have your hands up. You got to be ready to strike. One guy's ready to strike, right? Well, no, he didn't even strike. He wrapped his hands around this guy. So a lot of bad technique here, at least from the standpoint of just, readiness at the moment at the snap of the ball. Not really seeing, and there are some ways that you play, which is fine. Like I don't think this is bad, but I think once these guys are making pass rush or getting close to your reach, you don't want to grab a defensive lineman. You want to punch through them. That's how you stop the pass rush, is you punch through them and you make them bubble around and bubble further. And to a certain extent, you look at a couple of these guys. This is actually solid what Iupati did over here against Aaron Donald. He gets that backside arm. It's up high, but he gets it under his pad, so he has a little bit of leverage on Donald. But I see a lot of grabbing, and that's and it's hard to really control a defensive lineman when you're just grabbing. So that's a look right there at our Los Angeles Rams. I'm going with Green Bay on this one. I think the Rams will play a good game, but I think that really this is a up. How many times has Green Bay lost at Lambeau in the playoffs? I think they may have lost like 1 or 2 times in the entire NFL history when they're at Lambeau. So definitely, it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a good game. It's not going to be a blow. I don't think it'll be a blowout. I think it'll be a game that comes down to anywhere between 3 to 10 points, and we're going to see a full blown frozen tundra NFL playoff matchup. Like this is one of those oldies. It's going to be like an oldie, I think. But let's see here. We got a super chat. From Vulgar Knight 297 for $4.99. Vulgar Knight says, Uche, Gus Bradley, head DC of the Raiders. Your thoughts? Yeah, I actually tweeted out about Gus Bradley getting the defense coordinator position with the Vegas Raiders. I like Gus Bradley. I was with them in Jacksonville for a year, and I like him. He's a good guy. He's a good coach. He's not a head coach. At least not at that point, at that time. He wasn't a good fit as a head coach, but as a motivator, as a defensive coordinator, as somebody who understands defensive scheming, I thought that he was a good coach, but I also think that he needs to have next level talent to be able to shine, because you look at, obviously, he was the defense coordinator for the Legion of Boom, and that was an elite talent level defense that played in a scheme that really fit their talents. And he was able to get a lot of notoriety as a DC because of the way that those guys played and his blow up that he had on the sideline. Do your job, which made him famous. But I personally think that he'll do fine with the Raiders. I think that they'll focus their draft on some defensive players in in Las Vegas. I think that they'll focus their draft on players, on their defensive side, and that could be a defense that could potentially be a much more stout defense than it is currently in years to come. So we'll see how that plays out. But no, I appreciate that super chat there, Vulgar Knight. Let's take a look at a couple of, well, I guess they didn't play last week, so we'll have to wait on the Green Bay stuff. But let's take a look at the next game in the schedule. Like I said, I think Green Bay's got that game, but it's going to be a great matchup. So we'll see how it plays out. But next up, we got Baltimore at Buffalo. I think this is an intriguing matchup. I think this is a very intriguing matchup. These are two teams that right now, you can argue they're both playing it at a very high level. Obviously we saw Baltimore go into Tennessee last week. They got that win. It was a sound, demonstrative W for the Ravens. There's something about their style of offense that is worrisome to me. I kind of don't trust it, but it's been working for them for over a month now. They've just been, scrapping with their run game with Lamar Jackson, and he's been doing his thing. I can't hate on that. But Buffalo on the other side of that, Buffalo is operating like a well-oiled machine right now. Their defense does tend to give up points, but they do. They're a bend don't break defense. They make plays towards the back end of the drive if you're driving on them. They make plays toward the back end. That's where they're finding themselves making things happen more and more. But taking a look at Baltimore and their situation. I really think that they're going to need, they're going to have a balance. They're going to have to be a little bit more balanced. We knew that there were some big problems with Tennessee's defense going into that game. They were trying to cover it up, but Baltimore laid it all for the world to see. They laid it bare for the world to see. But the Bills, on the other hand, might not find the same kind of. You might find a little bit different style of resistance coming from Buffalo. But these are both teams that are going to have a focus on controlling the ball. I think that's going to be the biggest part of this game, is actually being able to control the clock. Baltimore is going to need to keep that Buffalo offense off the field as long as they can, because if they don't, that Buffalo will do exactly that to Baltimore, and they will keep them off the field for as long as they can. But looking at them from the Tiermaker, obviously, we got Baltimore moving up. They got the win against Tennessee. Tennessee obviously is out of there. And, well, I guess it's pretty self-explanatory that we would have the entire should have a shot category lined with the teams that came out of the wild card round. So, really, accidentally plugged something. But really, it's going to be an very interesting matchup. Let's look at some film from Baltimore in their game against Tennessee. Let's take a look, see here. Baltimore is and I really like to do it come out of the second half, but let's go with Let's go with this here. So, Baltimore is their style is really. I mean, they've got a little bit. Their passing game is generally quick pass, but they've got they're playing with a lot of confidence. They're playing with a lot of confidence, and really, their offensive line has been doing a good job. They're a good job running the ball. You know, they're everybody knows that their run game is predicated off of Lamar Jackson. So that's how defenses try to approach it. But they can run the ball many different ways. They can run it with their running backs. I mean, they don't have like an all world backfield, but they have a solid scheme. You know, and we take a look here. And one thing, you know, looking at, and this is, I believe this is short yardage, isn't it? Oops. This is, 2nd and 6. So they're running it. This is an inside zone, or this is a man, I believe this is man blocking here. Let's take a look. This isn't zone. This is a dive. Yeah, this is a dive. This is man up, man blocking. So you got 3 double teams going on here. Left tackle, left guard, center, right guard, right guard, right tackle are all center, right guard, right tackle, tight end. I'm sorry, are all double teaming these 3 down linemen. This is a 3-4. What is this? This is a 3-4 over. This is over 3-4. So, you know, you have your nose here. You got your this is technically your defensive tackle, defensive end, and then linebackers. That are slid over from an odd 3-4 look to now just a 3-4 over, which is kind of more 4-3. But looking at their splits, and this is part of being able to block a 3-4 is splits. Now, generally, you want to have bigger splits, but they're running a dive. This is man, so you do have to tighten it down a bit, and you know, there's a wall of defenders there. This is really a pretty dominant job by Baltimore's offensive line. Double team is pushing him off, and this is actually this is excellent awareness by the left guard. So if I'm the center here and I'm calling this play, I'm calling this as if this is a 4-3 defense. So this is my 4-3. This is my called linebacker. This is going to be the linebacker that these guys are responsible for, and this is going to be the linebacker that these guys right here are responsible for. So you're going to go double team here to him, double team here to him, double team here to him, one-on-one. Now, this would be the weak spot of the entire blocking scheme. So clearly, you know, with it being a dive, that's you want to have you want to have the biggest threat to you, the furthest away from where the ball is going to be. He just has to not get beat inside. But these guys are going to double team here. What you have to be aware for in these situations, because a lot of times offensive linemen can get tunnel vision and end up screwing this up. But this left guard here does an excellent job getting into the double team. And one thing that Tennessee's always been good at, even when I played against them, is they have these little well, I guess it's not just them, but I remember it happening a lot against us from them, in that they will just shoot a gap. They'll shoot the gap immediately. And I've seen linemen who still try to get to a double team, even though your guy that you're double teaming to is shooting the gap. But here in this situation, with the way that this left guard is able to get into his double team, they get movement, and then he comes off and picks up this backer right there, who can make the play if he slides through that gap or keep him from making this cutback. Excellent blocks all across the board. The receiver closes off the edge, and the running back's able to get outside on the bounce back. Even if he doesn't bounce that back, he's likely getting 3 or 4 yards easy just from the O-line push. So, you know, this is kind of, and the funny thing is this is kind of the same kind of thing that you're going to see with Buffalo and their running game. Buffalo's running game is gonna kind of have that same kind of feel to it. You're gonna have guys you're gonna have offensive linemen or an offensive line that is gonna create some really good push. And let me find a good run here. A lot of pass. Here we go. All right. Oh, before we get into this play, got another super chat here. Southie 98 499. He says, "Do you think the Chiefs are going back to back?" I think the Chiefs got as good a chance as anybody in the playoffs right now to get to the Super Bowl. Going back to back, I'm not sure that that's something that anybody can really even consider predicting at this point, unless until they get to the Super Bowl. If they get there, then you can think about back to back. But right now, I'd say it's a 50-50 shot. I mean, we also got to remember, last year, the Chiefs were down double digits in every game of the playoffs because they gave up early leads to their opponents. So, can you do that with any of these teams this year? Is Kansas City going to have we know they have the firepower, but just because you have the firepower doesn't mean that you can continuously put yourself in holes. They're coming off, a week without playing. I personally feel like any team that is able to play in the wild card round or play in the last game of the season into the wild card round, into the divisional round, those teams to me have the better chance of making it to the Super Bowl because they're teams that are not coming into it cold. They're ready. They're battle tested. They're continuing to march forward. So they've got momentum. They've got morale. They've got energy. As a team that comes off of the bye week, you have to come out and you have to strike fast and you have to strike hard to get your morale and your momentum immediately rolling, because any break in the action for a week because you're not playing can take away from your ability to really have the timing to have that momentum mentally. It can be a challenge sometimes. We saw it happen with Baltimore last year. So, it's going to be back to back. We'll see. But I think that right now, they've got to keep their eyes on Cleveland, because Cleveland, we'll talk about them in a minute. But let's look here. Good run here. Let's say, I want to see the actual blocking on the O-line before I really can really break down what we can expect from these guys. But okay, so we got a power play here. So we got power. So power is man blocking. Now, one thing about power, a lot of people think that because you see running, in this situation here, as I'm looking at, this is an over defense here from a nickel over from Indianapolis. They got a defensive end wide out here. That's kind of backwards, but the strength of the formation is over here. So you got your three technique. You got your tight end. You got your tight end, and they're going to be pulling this guard, which, let's see how they do it. But I think that the way that they pulled here, maybe it's a counter play if they let this end guy go. We'll see. Or we can look at the footwork of the running back. Nope, this is power. Okay, so this guard here that's a bad pull. That's a bad pull. So he's turned to the sidelines. You don't want to turn to the sidelines when you're pulling. You want to pull with your eyes upfield. You want to pull with your eyes and your shoulders upfield. Reason being is because you're tracking somebody. He should be blocking. He should be blocking 58. 58 would be considered the mic here. And you want to be able to track this guy. So if he's running with his eyes to the sideline here, and he correctly sees that everything is washing down. The double team here between the guard and the tackle is washing down to the hash. This defensive end here is playing the tight end head up, and he's washing him down. So, yeah, you want to pull around that, but look at the left turn you just made. Now, somehow, this is you should never come around on a pull. You shouldn't have to make a left turn, and that's what, or a right turn here, and that's what he had to do. He had to make a right turn to get up to his guy. And really, if the Colts are playing this a little bit tighter, and he's coming downhill now, when he sees this guard pulling like he did, he's going to blow the guard up and force the running back to cut inside of it. This defensive end, the defensive end should know, well, he's late, and he's being held. He's definitely being held. This play shouldn't have worked as well as it did, because they really were. It was a very sloppy looking run by the, at least from a blocking standpoint for the offensive line. But Buffalo does well in the running game still, even with all of those things being said. This was a below average job of blocking, but it worked out in their favor. Just because Indianapolis did not come downhill. They did not. When a guard pulls in the running game, the linebacker level should be coming downhill to destroy whatever is pulling, because that's the only way for you to disrupt the run game itself. Can't do that if you are late in reading the run. So just a little look there at Buffalo. And you guys give me your feedback on this. If you like the breakdowns, let me know. So I think this is going to be a good game. We're looking at it on the Tiermaker. I'm sticking with Buffalo. I've been saying it. Here. I've been singing their praises a lot this season. I think I'm sticking with Buffalo. I think they're going to be the team that is going to come out of the AFC. I think Baltimore, again, is going to play a good game, but we're going to need to see how well their passing attack, is going to come through for them when there are any instances where the run game is slowed down. I don't know that Baltimore, if they can't get that run, if that run game isn't hitting all game long, it's going to be, it can be a little bit difficult for them to get the wheels rolling on their offense. So we'll see how that plays out. I'm going with Buffalo in the game, though, as I think that these guys are going to be the ones coming out from the AFC. Cleveland, next game up. Cleveland versus Kansas City. Cleveland is riding the greatest high that they have ever had in the history of this organization right now. They just beat – no. Let me correct myself here. They just utterly destroyed the Pittsburgh Steelers. Utterly crushed the Steelers in Pittsburgh. 2 weeks in a row? Yeah. I think so. Or, well, I don't know if they weren't home. I don't know if they were home in that last game, were they? In their last game? They played, let me see. No, they were at home in their last game, so But Cleveland is going into Kansas City. I really hope, I have hope for Cleveland that they could potentially pull something off here. I really do. I really would like to see a very good game. And something tells me it's going to be a very good game until about the middle of the third quarter. I think that unless they can get some bounces to bounce their way, which is not a bad thing. If you can get lucky, it's just as good as being good in the NFL playoffs. So if they can get lucky and get a couple of bounces to bounce their way, they can be in position to steal the game late. They can. I believe it. I believe it because we've seen it time and time again. It doesn't matter how good a team is. It doesn't matter how favored a team is. If you can get a little bit of luck and a bounce or a call to go your way in the playoffs, that can be the difference. That can be the difference. And with Cleveland, you look at the game they had against Pittsburgh, it was ugly for Pittsburgh. It was. It was really ugly for Pittsburgh. But Cleveland was also putting it right on their ass all at the same time. I mean, Cleveland was putting it on their ass literally from the word go. I mean, we all seen it. Now, I do want to actually take a quick look at this snap because I tried to explain it when I was on Monday with Urinating Tree. Big shout out Urinating Tree. But Tree, we talked about it, and I hadn't seen the film, so I didn't really know how to explain it to him. I just was trying to remember back to watching it live on TV. But this is all on Pouncey. Pouncey, they're running outside zone. Pouncey opens that hip wide. This leg doesn't move, and when he snaps it, he hits right under his hamstring, and he just threw the ball. He threw the ball because he was moving before he was looking to move. And look, let me tell you something. That's a hard snap to make. It's hard to snap and zone block. Gun snap and zone block. That's not easy. And he shorted it. He flicked it back instead of driving it back. He flicked it back. One, maybe because he was made a little bit nervous by this movement here. Because what does that mean to an offensive lineman? When they move, now they're changing strength. So you have to be aware now that your footwork is going to have to change. When you get to the line of scrimmage as a lineman, and if I'm a center right here, before they even move, if I'm a center, I'm thinking to myself, I got a lot of space here, so I'm going to take a short step to check for my to have my eyes to my guard to help him if something comes flying down inside. But I'm expecting to make a quick step here on my angle, and then I'm going up to this backer because that's who they're blocking up to, or that's who he's blocking up to. He's going to be blocking up to this guy on the run play. So when he opens up that leg, or when they make this move and this shift on the defensive line, now all of a sudden he needs to open up this. He's going to have to open up this leg a little more on his first step. But his backside leg doesn't move. So when he snaps it, he just kind of flicks it back there, and it just goes flying up in the air. And, I mean, even at that, he still missed on the block because he went too far. His feet were too narrow, and he got beat off that immediately. So that was a hellified. That was ugly for him. That was ugly for him. But with Cleveland, couple of plays, this 40-yard touchdown pass to Jarvis Landry being the first one, but we'll look at another one as well. Cleveland's offensive line, they're good. These guys are good. They're good. We'll take a look here in a second. I know they had a couple of injuries on it, but this is – let me see here. Let's get forward. All right, so looking at their O-line, good vertical set here. I think that the left tackle here, he is a little bit. He's got a little bit. Let me see. I don't like his stance. I didn't like his set, but I liked his hands. His punch was immediate. He got his hands inside, made him bubble. He's catching a little bit there, but that's fine because he extends back out. So left guard, left guard did a good job there. Good job, and that's actually a pretty good physical set. His feet, he's got that's actually good set. That's what I didn't like. I didn't like how he flipped his hips right there. You never want to do that as a guard. You don't want to flip your hips like that, because when your back's to when you're facing the sideline, it's a lot of times you're going to deal with more problems than it's worth, because good defensive linemen are going to start working double moves trying to find that hole, that space, because now you've opened up lanes. But left tackle 71, I think that he's got a good idea. He's got the right idea. He's vertical setting. He drifts a little bit, which I don't like it, but that's fine. He doesn't. It's not the worst thing in the world. Drifting out a little bit. He's got presence for his guard, which whether you know it or not, that's going to affect that defensive lineman. It's going to keep him from trying to go too far into an outside move, because he feels like that tackle may be there to sit down on it. I think that he does a good job here. This is great right here. That right arm, he's lost on the front side of this pass set. 56 got a club move on him, I believe. Yeah, 56 does a club down on his left arm. He replaces and puts his right arm under that defensive end's shoulder pad, right under his armpit, right there on his back, and that allows him to push him upfield, to keep him from turning that hoop towards the quarterback. Keeps him moving upfield. Looking here at the center. Center's good. He's floating. No threat to him. I think this is bad. You don't want to do that as a right guard. You don't want to have your face in that block. What if they're running the game and he comes swooping around inside? You're dead in the water. No way for you to adjust to that. I think that's something. If I am the Chiefs, I'm looking at running some games on them. If this is how they look, if this is something that you can pin on him that he does repeatedly in this game, I start running defensive stunts on that side if I'm Kansas City. Our right tackle here, that's way too big, way too far out here. Now, he does a good job with his hands, but he's all out of position. He's all out of position. He's got his hands. His hands are fine. His hands are fine. But look at where he is, and this is something that for young offensive linemen out there, you have to understand where you are on the field sometimes. And I'm not saying that he did a bad job or a terrible job here, but they've got a pretty big split right here. That's a pretty big split. You've got a defender in the gap at the line showing, whether he's feinting you or not, he's showing blitz. If this guy blitzes through this gap, your running back, depending on what he's doing, may pick it up. But, we've seen running backs plenty of times, they're out the gate. They're gone. Now, I think this is man-to-man, obviously, but you don't want to – this is a tell right here for a defense coordinator. He's going to see this and say, maybe we squeeze him down, or maybe we keep him out here wide and we squeeze him in or squeeze him out and we just blitz him. We run a three-man blitz here, or a three-man game where maybe these two guys go down this way and then they wrap this defensive tackle around to try and contain Baker Mayfield in the pocket on a long distance pass play, knowing that this guy is gonna overcommit to getting out wide, and then we're gonna have space all in here to attack Mayfield. Those are the kind of things that they can do. But I think that one, you need to cut your split down some. You need maybe about a foot off of this split, and then two, when the ball is snapped, your biggest threat. Yeah, I know who you're going against here, but truth be told, he's pretty far out there. You don't need to go to him. He needs to come to you. I would sit a little bit more with my guard, and then from there, be ready to take on him. Chances, and I think that they had it there. Running back was there to help Chip, so you don't have to go out there and attack. TJ Watt when, he's so far out there. He's so far out there, you don't need to. Here's another play here, run game. It's going to be Kareem Hunt's touchdown run. Just looking here again, like I said, at Cleveland and some of the things they did in their game. I think that this was some pretty good blocking here, but let's take a look in the end zone because I already saw something that I didn't think I liked with how Cleveland's O-line was handling this. Now, this is outside zone. That's what I'm reading here. Outside zone run. So, this is pretty self-explanatory. This is the most important block on outside zone. You got to reach. That's not a good reach. He does press him. He presses him, but as far as the actual reach block itself, he failed at that because he gets his head is inside of, this is a defensive win. He's keeping the play to his inside. You may be pressing him a little bit, which is good, but you want to get this hooked. You want to get that reached so that the running back just comes right in between here and he just walks in the end zone. Now, fate would have it that Pittsburgh just did a shit job playing defense on this play anyway. Even with the backside blitz, they're not able to even get to the running back and make a meaningful effect on the play. But our backside here, this is fine. This is actually, and I'm trying to see where his backside arm is. That's good. That's good. That's actually pretty good. This is a hard block to make. A backside cutoff and reach block are the two hardest blocks to make for an offensive lineman. Backside cutoff, big emphasis on having that backside arm through to the midpoint of the defender so that you can snatch one of his arms. Notice how Tyson Alualu wasn't able to get that arm out of there. That's because it was being held, and that's a technique that's taught. He couldn't really make a play with that front side arm without, he had to rip that arm free to try and throw himself in there to try and make a hit on the running back. So that was a good job. Now, in a perfect world, you want this guard to actually cut, bring that backside arm through and cut this guy out on your back, to your backside hip. You want to pull Tyson Alualu back here. You want him to be back here so your running back slides right through. But the running back makes you right. He gets through there anyways. And he did just enough. And that was a good job at securing that because that's a tackle for a loss if Alualu is able to disengage at all. That's a tackle for a loss, and that is and that's a minus on the grade out book. I think the tackle right here on the backside, I think you got to get on that angle. You got to run. I can tell that's a good job actually. Keep that presence up just to give a little bit of hesitation to that blitzer, then get up on your backer. That's good. That's actually the right way to do that. He doesn't need to go immediately, but he gives him a quick flinch, makes that blitzer slightly hesitate, and that could have been all the difference there. Now, finish that thing. Finish that thing. That's your guy. Finish it. Give him something. There you go. Do it. Yes. There you go. Finish it. That's what we like to see. All right, so that's Cleveland. I think that they have, that running game is going to be their biggest weapon. I think that's going to be their biggest weapon. They're going to need to take advantage of those running backs that they have and do as much in way of wearing down Kansas City's defense as they can, keep them on the field as long as they can. That's going to be the key. This is the playoffs. It's really very simple. You want to have the ball longer than your opponent. You want to get at least one more possession than your opponent to give yourself a chance to win the game. I'm I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to go out on a limb. This might not be a popular opinion. I'm going to pick Cleveland to win this game. I'm going to pick Cleveland to beat Kansas City. I'm not going to move them. Not going to move them out of their tier yet. They're going to stay and should have a shot. But for the prediction for the game, I'm going to pick this as the upset of the year in the NFL. The most unlikely of results in the NFL all year long. Cleveland goes into Kansas City and beats Kansas City. You heard it here first. You heard it here first. Cleveland wins at Kansas City. Next game up, Tampa at New Orleans. And this is going to wrap. This is going to be the last one that we're going to look at here. Tampa and New Orleans. I mean, what do we say about this game that we haven't already said? I think that if you look at the first two matchups and you look at how these teams have played since, I think that we're right back at square one. I think this is a game. I think this is a matchup where New Orleans really matches up against Tampa better than any team that they played this season. And New Orleans has routinely dominated Tampa. And I don't see that changing here. And the good thing about this is that we can take a look at the film from all of the games they played against each other already. Because this is gonna be our guide. And I'm gonna start with week 1. This is gonna be our guide, and maybe this isn't the fairest game to look at. But Coach Uche did a breakdown on this back at the start of the NFL season. It's on Sports Wars. Go check it out on Sports Wars channel. But Coach Uche did a breakdown, and it was not pretty for these Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bucs have not looked good against the Saints at all. And I think that says a lot more about what the Saints are doing than it does about what the Bucs are doing. Now, if I can find it, I mean, when I tell you I ripped the entire Tampa Bay offensive line in my O-line analysis of them, this is an offensive line that is, in my opinion, not very good at all. And I've seen so many different scenarios. Let me see here. In games where their offensive line is so, it's just like, what are you guys doing? Let me see here. Where is this? Man, I wish I would have saved the plays. I think this is, yep, here we go. Here goes one. I think this is it. Donovan Smith, the left tackle for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, might be the most overpaid offensive lineman in the NFL. And this is a perfect, oh my God. Every time I watch this, I get sick. This is a perfect example of why. Take a look at it. Left tackle right here. Big boy. $41 million for this. This is an outside zone play. Outside zone, you want to, his aim should be to reach, what's his name? Jordan, I think that's his name. Reach 94 here, reach his outside eye. So the outside portion of his helmet to play side, and either run him on that angle Or if he tries to play to your inside, hook him and then wash everything down so that your running back has a clear and open lane to run with. Let's take a look at his first step here. His first step doesn't even move his legs. His footwork here is absolute garbage. His first step doesn't move. So he is running on top of himself at this point. First step doesn't move. Second step crosses over. So you've crossed over, which means you have no base, which means you have no balance. Cameron Jordan, I think that's his name, plays this about as well as you would expect any good defensive end to play it. He comes off the ball with his hands ready to punch. He punches, gets both hands inside of Donovan Smith's chest, sheds him immediately. Oh my God, this is called getting owned as an offensive lineman. This is getting owned. He got bench pressed. My God, he got bench pressed out, gets thrown off, and this is on a third down. This is when you need to have this. Now, this is going to be a key matchup in this game. This matchup right here is going to be the key matchup. And if I'm him, if I'm Cameron Jordan, am I saying, is this Cam Jordan, that's his name. I'm just making sure. The dude has solid fun. He's not overly gifted physically, but he's got some good technique. I've seen, every game they played against him, he pretty much ran the board on this cat. This is supposed to be a Pro Bowl offensive lineman, a Pro Bowl caliber offensive lineman. My ass. He is garbage. Look at this. Uh-oh, what's going on here? Throws him off. Makes a tackle for a loss. Who are you going to get mad at, 76? I mean, look what happened to your running back. I mean, come on. And let's not even look at a pass set. My God, if we got to look at pass sets, holy shit. This guy is one of, it was ugly. It's ugly. And as a matter of fact, I think this is it. No, that's not it. Let me find it. Let me find them. I think we got to go back to the top on this. Ooh, let's see. No, that's not it. Oh, what's going on here? Okay. Let's see. Man, I did a breakdown on this. A while back. Anyways, we'll skip from that one. Let's go and let's take a look at the second matchup. I think that all right, let's get out of there. Let's go to their second matchup, which was week, I don't know. Week 12. Let's check week 13. Week 14. What was the week that they played? What was the week they played their second game against Tampa, New Orleans, Tampa? Anybody know what week that was? I think that was maybe week 8. Nope. Week 9. Here we go. Oh, shit. Here we go. Week 9. Let's take a look at them again. This is your second chance. If you are Tampa and you're at home. Should be good, right? Should be good. Let's take a look. Here we go. First play. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. First play of the game. What we going to do? Okay, first off. Okay, they're running it. Why would they do that? Oh, good God, 66. This guy, you know, I see this guy on during games talking a lot of shit to people and getting in fights. But, you know, when I look at film on you, you know, why are you getting beat like this? I mean, he didn't even attempt. Are you going to pass at this guy? He just hit you with a swim move. That's it. Who is it? Cam Jordan? Is that him? Yep, sure is. Sure is. Get out of my way. That's terrible. That's awful. And then, I mean, the hit comes from the left. Who is this? The hit comes from the left guard anyway. Left guard. Bad pass set. Doesn't even move his feet. He gets bull rushed. He has to go into a hop mode. He gets separated from, then his feet, he's leaning. He gets picked up. Yep, that's what happens when you lean. When you lean, your body weight can get shifted it can way more easily be shifted by this defender. He feels him leaning, he pulls, gets him turned, and boom, puts a hit on the quarterback, incomplete pass. I think that this is where this is where everything is going to come down to in this game. It's going to come down to, can the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive line hold up? Because it appears to me that when they are playing against these Saints, for some reason, their offensive line has problems. Run blocking. Let's take a look. They're running a counter here. It's actually a solid job there with the counter blocking, but looks like they got a penalty. So it must have been some holding. So we're bringing them back again. Take another look at their offensive line. And guys, this is just me picking the first 3 plays of the game. I'm not even really, you know, digging deep in here, looking for, you know, any plays where there may have been a sack or may have been a fumble. I mean, well, here we go. Here's an interception. Usually when you get a 2-play drive with the second play being an interception, something happened. That was the play the ball got tipped. All right. Something happened. That was a freak play, whatever. All right, let's see here. Just scrolling on through. Let me pick one more play at random. All right. That was not the right play to pick at random. Let's see here. Give me some more. There's no huddle. Man, I just want to see some basic plays here. Come on. All right. Here we go. This one doesn't look to be, there's a lot of stuff going on here, but I think that I really think it's going to come down to their O-line. Like, again, it's going to be a Donovan Smith, Cam Jordan kind of game. Who's going to win these battles? The one-on-one matchups is really going to decide who wins this. You know, I think you look at this play here, there's some good blocking here. Wirfs does a really good job here. This is actually really good. He's got his hands up. That's actually really good. Look at his hands. That's good offensive linemen. That's what they do right there. He punched him. That's a punch. Now his set, he comes off. He does a little winged eagle thing where his hands are all wide, which, I mean, I've done that before. I mean, sometimes that's just a feel thing. You feel better when you're making that move. But as soon as he gets that set, which his set is, he turns a little bit early, but he was confident. He made the punch. He put his hands on him. So, that's perfect. That's textbook right there, really. That's textbook. Now, on the other side of that, you look at our left tackle over here, our $41 million man, and he's catching. He's getting lifted off the ground. He's getting lifted off the ground by spiking defensive linemen. And the spike is where they stunt to the inside. He's getting lifted off the ground. It really bothers me watching him as an offensive lineman play football. Donovan Smith bothers me. It bothers me to watch him play football. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. But yeah, this matchup is going to be, I think, more of the same. I think this is going to be more of the same that we've seen in regards to this matchup all season. What reason do we have to believe that it would change? We really don't have any real reason to believe that it would change. But again, it's going to come down to offensive lines, run game, and turnovers. You can't turn the ball over in the playoffs, or you're almost dead in the water. So I think we've seen good examples of that with teams like Pittsburgh. So with all that being said, I'm picking New Orleans for the win. Tampa Bay is going to I just don't see them. I just don't see them, even with them playing the way they're playing right now. Washington played them pretty well. Washington played against them pretty well. Washington pressed Tampa Bay a little bit. Now, the Saints, I think their defense plays particularly well against Tampa Bay. And that's going to be the issue that's going to keep Tampa Bay from really being able to find the rhythm that they're going to need to give them an edge in this game. So I'm going to go with the Saints on this one. Who Dat Nation is moving on into the NFC Championship game, in my opinion, where they will once again find a way to flounder out. But we'll see. We'll get to that bridge. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. So that's going to be it for the Tiermaker on this one. Hope you guys really enjoyed. A little bit more breakdown there to kind of go into little small, aspects of the game based on what we've seen with teams in their game film. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Leave some feedback. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you smash that like button if you haven't already done so. We are going to be back here again next week. I'll probably I may have some prepared film for you guys next week for some game film analysis. So look to that being something that I add in. But I really did want to kind of just get in some game film so you guys could see a little bit more on how things work, in real time, the little nuances in the game, especially on the offensive line, as I am your observant lineman. So that to me makes it a great opportunity to kind of give you guys some of the knowledge that I got when we talk about football on the highest level. So appreciate you guys very much. Hope everyone is having a wonderful evening. Make sure you share this with your friends. Let your friends know, hey, got some nice O-line breakdowns going on Wednesdays in the Tiermaker. But I do appreciate you guys very much, and I will catch you all on the next one. Peace out.